Okay. Hi everyone, welcome back to another podcast with Wise Words. I'm your host Shruti Vadala, and today I am interviewing Adway Raje. Adway, can you please introduce yourself?
Hey, thank you guys for having me. So my name is Adway Raje. I am currently a junior in healthcare management here at the University of Texas at Dallas. I'm currently a part of the professional program in healthcare management. I am serving as VP of Public Relations for Alpha Kappa Psi, the business fraternity, and I am also serving as president for the Healthcare Management Association through the rest of spring 2022.
Awesome, thank you. My first question for you is, what made you interested in the career, to have a career in the field of healthcare management, and what kind of roles are available in the field?
Yeah, I initially came in as a pre-health major, and so, I really wanted to work with patients and kind of help people improve their health. I realized pretty quickly that within the industry, a lot of the change that was needed was more on the kind of industry business management side, and I realized my skills were more suited for that as well. So that's why I've become very passionate about healthcare management. I mean, I think you can combine business skills with something where there's a lot of purpose and passion. And I mean, the opportunities are endless. I mean, any opportunity you can think of within business is present within healthcare as well. And if you want to go the more clinical route, you can still work with doctors in like a hospital setting, but you can also work in corporate settings. So it's definitely pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, that sounds really cool. Okay, so my next question is regarding the business fraternity that you mentioned. So I wanted to ask you, what role do you serve in the business fraternity, and what benefits do members get from joining?
Yeah, so I am currently the VP of Public Relations for the business fraternity. Last year in 2021, I served as the president, and I've had a few other officer roles in the fraternity. A business fraternity essentially combines kind of, a professional setting as well as a social setting, and so you kind of get best of both worlds. I think the biggest benefit that comes from at least joining Alpha Kappa Psi, our business fraternity, is kind of a community of very like-minded individuals. We're all very high performing and high achieving, but at the end of the day, we're all really good friends at the same time. So it's definitely just a great social circle that continues to motivate you.
Yeah, of course. It sounds great. Okay, so I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about your initial work experience with Mathnasium. So, what lessons did you learn from this initial experience that is helping you in your career now and gaining more opportunities in the healthcare field?
Yeah, I worked at Mathnasium. It was basically math tutoring, and I worked there for close to 2 to 3 years. And that was a huge experience for me because I think the biggest thing it taught me is that you can learn a lot from unconventional settings. I never thought that I would be applying my experience from a math tutor into my, kind of current roles within healthcare. Working with kids, everyone knows, is kind of something you can learn a lot from. Just kind of learning how to deal with people. But then at the same time, I was never kind of in a position of kind of rank authority. And so I really learned how to contribute to a team and add value, when you're not in a managerial position. So from the front lines, if you will.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so speaking of resources available specifically for healthcare management students, what would you give advice? What advice would you give to healthcare management students right now who are looking to network and who are looking for those internship opportunities and really trying to start their career?
Yeah, the first thing I would preface with is here at UTD, we have a great healthcare department. It's been around for a while, and it's, especially the master's programs are very competitive. And so I would say, first and foremost, get to know your professors, get to know the faculty and staff, and kind of go from there. They will give you a ton of different resources. The department has its own kind of healthcare podcast, and then some of our professors have even written books, so if you want to look into those. But the other thing I would say is, reach out to your, the people in the seats beside you. One of the biggest ways I have learned how to navigate this field has been through making friends with people a grade or two above me. There are people who are going to understand the position that you're in because they're just a step ahead of you, so they know how to guide you, but they're not like these working professionals. So, the advice you get is going to be very relevant, and they're going to be the people who, give you next steps that you can go and implement the next day. So.
No, for sure. I think upperclassmen, giving advice is the best advice you can receive. So that's great advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question is, you have various certifications like the Lean Six Sigma in healthcare. So how is your certification beneficial, and how do you obtain one?
Yeah, so at least with Lean Six, there's a lot of different ways to go about that. I just have a basic white belt, which is just kind of an introduction to the topic. I am currently looking into pursuing higher levels of that certification by working on actual projects. But I think for college students, certifications are super useful because they give you kind of a stamp of approval from organizations. So you take a class about a subject and you can go and take an actual certification in it, right? Especially in the healthcare management degree plan, we learn a lot about the industry and how it functions, and that's amazing. But these certifications can really help kind of establish your more technical side, and it doesn't matter which, kind of major you're in. You can do an Excel certification, you can do AWS, SQL, right? Like if you're into technology, there's a ton over there. If you want to be on operations, there's stuff like project management and a Lean Six certifications, right? So just go out there and put in a little bit of extra work, I think, outside of your classes, and these certifications really help bolster your resume.
Okay, so my next question is, you mentioned you're in the professional program for healthcare management. So how has this program helped you in gaining networking opportunities with upperclassmen as well as internships? And what is the process of applying to this program? And what kind of careers does the program set you up with?
Yeah, so the first thing I'll start off with, the professional program in healthcare management, I believe you apply your second semester of your sophomore year. So you do have to kind of have some experience under your belt to get into that. But that being said, I'm gonna kind of hark back to what I said earlier into, a lot of the best opportunities and advice you'll get are from people who are, still just a year or two above you. So that's really the biggest thing that the PPHM has served for me, is connecting me with, people who are equally as passionate about healthcare management, who kind of have figured it out a little bit more than I have. And, actually a lot of the companies I've applied to and gotten internships for are from people at UTD that I found out about that company from. So, I think another thing that the PPHM does is they bring in these great industry professionals. So it's a lot of different networking, both with like working professionals, but again, and the super important piece is with other students who kind of can give you more tactical advice. So.
Okay, so how did your internship with Premier Management Company and how did your previous internships prepare you for the one you currently have? And can you compare and contrast the experiences between the two?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think my very first internship I had was at a kind of startup hospice company, and that was, again, startup, so very small, not a ton of company resources, and that was an interesting dynamic for sure. And right now, Premier is kind of, more of a middle-sized kind of company, and so it's not quite a full corporate setting. So I've learned how to kind of deal in both situations, and my upcoming internship will be in a complete corporate setting at CVS Health, and so it'll be completely different, and so for me, it's been this kind of linear progress from small company, mid-sized company to like big corporate setting. So it's great learning the dynamics of all of those settings.
Okay, well, thank you so much for letting me interview you. I'm sure all of our students are going to appreciate all of your amazing advice into the healthcare field, and I wish you good luck with all of your future endeavors.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. It was definitely an honor.